this woman has no haters, then I am dead. I struggle so much with the character of Serena. I know this season she's going through a bit of like a redemption arc, which is great, but I just have a very hard time believing that she's going to truly change who she really is on the inside. I don't know, we got multiple characters going through kind of a redemption arc this season, like Aunt Lydia. In this past episode, both of them made kind of like huge decisions. Aunt Lydia, she made the decision to let the handmaids go, based truly on her love for Janine. I think if Janine hadn't been there, she probably wouldn't have made that decision. But Janine being there kind of affected her so much that she made the right decision to let all these handmaids go free. And like, I don't know why I can look at Aunt Lydia and kind of see her as an interesting person with some redeemable qualities, even though she's kind of a monster, you know, but she's working. I think she's starting to see her actions, how they have affected other people and what's right and what's wrong, you know, in her warped mind. So I do see a possible redemption arc for Aunt Lydia. I feel like she's starting to make the right decisions and grow. But then when I see Serena, like this past episode, her big thing was, you know, after the wedding, after she married Commander Wharton, they get home, she's so happy, and then she looks over and there is, of Gabriel, there is a handmaid kneeling down. And then she learns like, oh yeah, the guy that just basically love bombed me for months, you know, I fell for it. He actually is just like a commander like everyone else. He believes in Gilead. He wants to have a bunch of kids. Even though she is able to have children, he wanted to have so many that they got the most fertile handmaid in Gilead. And so obviously she is upset by this. And I feel like it translates to her being upset for the handmaid because she makes that big thing about like, what's your name? Tell me your name. You know, but I think truly deep down, I get the vibe that she just doesn't want to have more drama in the household. She doesn't want to have another handmaid. She doesn't want her husband sleeping with another woman for really no reason, because yeah, she can have children, you know. So I feel like more so she didn't want to relive her experience with June. I think that's more so than like her caring about this woman that she just met in her household. So like when I view her making this big scene about like, oh yeah, you're just like everyone else, I fell for it, and then her leaving the house, I take it more like more selfish in nature, because yeah, like that would suck. Yeah, she effed around and found out she married another commander. She thought things were going to be different. Of course they're not going to be different. Of course not, you know, and she's the reason why the system in Gilead is set up that way, you know, like she is a huge contributor to all of this pain and trauma that has been inflicted on all these women. So like now she's starting to realize like, oh, this is affecting me. I mean, the last 2 seasons, I feel like she's starting to realize like, oh, you know, I'm being oppressed. But I feel like she's not been forced into like learning these lessons and changing her view on things if she wasn't just thrust into the situation where she had to learn, she had to grow, she had to like start to think about other women's experiences, because generally I don't think she really gives a crap, you know. And it's kind of like the other women in Gilead, like when she was talking about the handmaids, all those women in Gilead were like, we don't really want to think about it, we don't want them in our house. I think, you know, she felt the exact same way not too long ago, and now like she's been kind of forced into trying to change her ways of thinking. And honestly, the whole wedding, I just viewed that as like she just wanted status, even though she didn't necessarily agree with the women in Gilead. Like she's starting to kind of change her heart and her mind about the other women there. I think she just truly wanted to get back on top. She wanted those women to respect her. That's why she had this huge wedding. And then, you know, obviously it didn't turn out the way that she wanted it to. So like I view Serena as maybe an unredeemable person, which I know is terrible, and this is probably just a me thing, but it's just like I just have a hard time looking at that woman and being like, yeah, totally, she's gonna be a better person at the end of this series. I just don't know if that's possible, because I think it would be one thing if she had realized the flaws in her ways and made these steps to help people when she didn't necessarily like have to start, you know, thinking about things differently. But she has been through the ringer. She's been through a lot of terrible situations. But again, I just view it as like, you know, you put yourself there, you put yourself in that situation, and now you're learning. But yeah, I don't know why I can look at Aunt Lydia as a redeemable character and not Serena. But again, if she has no haters, then I am deceased.